So at a White House press conference that just occurred yesterday, Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, Jean-Pierre, said to Peter Doocy, what you're talking about with respect to a recession and a tax increase and all this stuff, no, it's not right. It's not right. That's not what a recession is. That's not what taxes are. So in Fox News, the White House correspondent, Peter Doocy, the Fox News White House correspondent, pressed White House press secretary. That's some terrible writing there. This is from the Daily Caller, by the way. They put pressed White House press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre about the raise in taxes in the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022. So there's a bill, and the bill's called the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, it's the Democrats in Congress that want to pass it. And the bill actually raises taxes. No, it does not just raise taxes on the so-called rich, as Democrats would have you believe. It raises taxes on people that are earning below $200,000 a year as well. Okay, below $200,000 a year. So Peter Doocy and Jean-Pierre are sparring in the White House as Peter Doocy just asks the obvious question, hey, does this make sense to really pass a bill that is spending more money and at the same time increasing taxes? We have a couple of clips on this concerning the exchange. And here's the first clip. Here it is. Listen.
Thanks, Karine. Is President Biden thinking about pulling his support for the Inflation Reduction Act?
No.
Because he promised it wasn't going to raise taxes on anybody making less than $400,000 a year, but the Joint Committee on Taxation says that is not true.
Well, that is incorrect.
So the Joint Committee on Taxation, which you guys heralded as an effective body when you were selling the infrastructure package, is not to be trusted here.
I said it is not correct because I will give you why it's not correct, because it is incomplete. The JCT report that we're currently seeing is incomplete because it omits the actual benefits that Americans would receive when it comes to prescription drugs, when it comes to the lowering energy costs like utility bills. It does not include that. And we have some experts, don't have to trust me, we have experts that say the exact same.
So government is spending way too much money, which means they have to print the money. Okay, so government is printing money and borrowing money, and then that money finds its way into the economy, which means that there's too much money in the economy, which causes inflation, right? Because you have so many dollars in the economy, suddenly people have all this cash, and then inflation occurs because there is way too much demand for way little supply. All right, that's what's already happening and happened. And then you have the Biden administration and the Democrats in Congress passing yet another bill, or at least intending to pass another bill, whose purpose is to spend even more money. And then they're saying, well, it doesn't include tax increases. Of course it does. And the spending doesn't cause inflation in the new bill, according to Jean-Pierre and the Democrats, because this round of spending in this bill actually is subsidizing people to help them pay for their electricity, for their food, for their pharmaceutical products, electricity. You go on and on and on. So in other words, the Democrats have caused this spiraling inflation in the United States where everything is more expensive. And their solution, after causing the problem, their solution is to spend more money to help you pay for it. Not by letting you keep more of your money, but by taking more of your income in the form of taxation and then handing you a check in return from the federal government so that you now become dependent on government. Literally, this is Econ 101 for Democrats and for socialism. This bill and what we're experiencing and witnessing today with the modern Democrat Party is a party that is literally exposing itself to the American people about its true intent, which is to get you completely and utterly hooked on government spending because you become dependent upon it. because you can no longer afford to purchase electricity because it's becoming so expensive, because they're canceling natural gas and they're canceling coal and they're canceling oil and they won't allow nuclear power expansion. So you got to buy all the expensive electricity. Then, of course, you can't afford to buy food because all energy prices are more expensive. So then the Democrats meet in Capitol Hill and decide, let's pass a new bill to help the Americans pay for things to give them some free money. But in order to pay for it, let's take some of their earned money from them first. I mean, I can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. And the worst part about this is that the Democrats are trying to change the meaning of words. No, it's not really a tax increase. No, it's not inflation, and it's not inflation. No, we're not in a recession. So here's this second clip in that series with Jean-Pierre and Peter Doocy. Listen, I'm sure you're going to get really angry when you listen to this, but that's okay, because in modern America, the dumbest people work for the White House. Really, the dumbest people. Let's find the dumbest people we can find in the United States and have them be the spokesman for the administration. We had that clip. Here it is.
Kimberly Clausing from UCLA. Many key factors are left out in these tables, including, importantly, the effect of deficit reduction, the positive effects of the spending on clean energy, and the benefits from low drug prices, as I just stated. Seth Honlin, Center for American Progress. Republicans don't mention that JCT analysis includes an imputation of corporate taxes, i.e. the 15% minimum on corporations with less than $1 billion of profits to income groups, but does not include the major provisions that benefit people, including the tax cuts and drug savings.
So you're listening to her, Jean-Pierre, describe all of the wonderful things in the bill that are going to make your life so much better. You know, you're so much better off than you were before because this bill is going to pass and we're all going to be saved by the federal government. Look, folks, it's not just, we're calling this podcast Words Without Meaning because increasingly words do not have meaning. And you hear the White House talk and you hear the spokespeople like Jean-Pierre talking and speaking on behalf of the President of the United States and the White House. And you just say to yourself, how is it possible that these people believe what they're saying? And of course they don't. They know they're lying, but they've been lying their entire lives so much that they just think that it doesn't matter anymore because they're going to be backed up by the media and they're going to be backed up by, get this, the online dictionaries. So in the Washington Examiner, this was provided by Christopher, our producer, to me just this second. In the Washington Examiner, Wikipedia restricts edits to the word recession page after Biden denial of definition. So in Wikipedia, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, anyone can go in there and they can start to make edits. Anyone can. And so that's as if that makes any sense, of course, right? That means there is no truth, of course. That's literally completely Orwellian. The very definition of Wikipedia is the 1984 novel where you get to go and you keep changing the history, right? There is no past, there is no present. Those who control the present control the past, and those who control the past control the future. That's right from 1984. Well, literally, you can go into Wikipedia and you can change the past. And then you control the future. So Wikipedia obviously thought it was so bad that so many people are trying to edit the recession page after Joe Biden and his administration denied what the word recession is and how it's defined. Wikipedia decided, you know what? We're not going to allow any further edits. So Wikipedia has blocked additional edits to the recession page after users attempted to adjust it in response to President Joe Biden's attempts to redefine the word. The page was edited at least 47 times over 24 hours before Wikipedia administrators locked the page so that unregistered users could not change its contents until August. This restriction arrives as Biden administration officials attempt to avoid using the term to describe the current economy. The online encyclopedia's administrators froze the web page's edit feature due to our persistent addition of unsourced or poorly sourced content. The top of the web page also notes that the recession web page may be affected by a current event. Users manipulated the page and battled over whether its lead paragraph contained the sentence, quote, though there is no global consensus on the definition of a recession, 2 consecutive quarters of decline in a country's real gross domestic product is commonly used as a practical definition of a recession. As of Friday, the line is currently included in the description. Quote, the article always said something about 2 down GDP quarters, wrote Wikipedia editor JPXG. Who's that? Do you know who that is? Okay. In a Thursday note, the first section of the article, titled Definition, has mentioned it since 2011. As far as I can tell, nobody ever messed with this. The entire current dispute is over whether it should say this in the lead paragraph and the definition section, or just in the definition section. Right now, article gives both that definition and the National Bureau of Economic Research definition and takes no position on which is correct. That is an important statement. It takes no position on which definition is correct. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have no actual correct definition of a word, then words have no meaning. And when words have no meaning, we are literally living in Orwellian times. When you can control history, you can control current events with words because the words have absolutely lost their meaning. Wikipedia allows you to do just that. And that's why it's so important. It's so important to go out and buy an actual dictionary, right? An actual book that has pages that you can touch, and have that dictionary, probably Webster's dictionary or some other dictionary or maybe multiple dictionaries made by multiple companies, right? Reputable companies, and put it on your bookshelf and understand that that is the definition, period. Okay? That's the definition. And we're talking about really basic words like recession. Okay? Since when did any economist actually provide scientific evidence that a recession was not 2 down quarters of GDP? I mean, I'm not aware of that, but yet average people are going onto Wikipedia with no economics background whatsoever, and they're changing the definition. So we know that this is all BS, but it doesn't even stop there. You have Jean-Pierre in the White House literally encouraging this. The White House is encouraging making words meaningless.